This is the Sony ZV-1 and this is the Sony ZV-1F, and both of these are really good options for creators looking to up the quality of their live streams, their videos, their TikToks, their Reels, or even their Shorts. So let's take a look at both of these to see what makes them great. So before we get started, this video is sponsored by Sony and the Alpha Universe, but more on that a little later. So both of these are fixed lens point and shoot type cameras, meaning that you can't actually change out the lens with these. But with the ZV-1, you do have a zoom lens that goes from 24 to 70 mils. And then on the ZV-1F, you have a fixed 20 mil lens, but you can still zoom digitally up to 1.5 times in 4K video, and then up to 2 times in HD video, as well as in pictures. Both of these can record in up to 4K 30. Both of them have 20.1 megapixel sensors, and both of them have this intuitive focus button here at the top, which switches between your background being blurry or not, which is a really good option for people who don't understand all of the settings of cameras and just want a camera that they can actually start making videos with. Now I do want to switch over my focus to the ZV-1F, since this is the newer out of the two, and it also comes in at half the price compared to the ZV-1, making this a really good option for creators, especially just starting out. Now there are a few features that you miss out with the ZV-1F compared to the ZV-1. One of them is the hot shoe, and on the ZV-1F you only have a cold shoe, meaning that you can't actually use the Sony mics that just clip in on the hot shoe that just work fine. But both of these do have a mic input, so you're not actually losing anything there. And then of course you also don't have your built-in ND filter that you get with the ZV-1, but you can use external ND filters on this one, so you're really not losing any function for the price decrease. Now I feel that this is a really good option for creators is the price, and for $500 or around 10,000 Rand locally, you're getting a camera that can do almost anything, and it makes it really easy to do that even for people who aren't really familiar with cameras. The 20mm focal length of the ZV-1F makes it really easy to use as a vlogging camera and still get your entire body in frame. You have the focus button that can change the settings in camera to either have your background in focus or blurred without you needing to actually know how to do that in camera. And it even has a product showcasing mode that easily switches between you being in focus and the product that you're showing, which is really great if you're making content where you show off a lot of items. Now if you're a streamer, you can also connect this camera directly to your PC using a USB-C cable, making it really easy to use this as a webcam, as you don't actually need a capture card to use this, and you also don't need external power since the USB that you connect to the camera also charges the battery. Now this makes it really easy to get started with live streaming, since you don't have to actually go out and buy all of these extra items at first. You can just use the USB-C cable that is included to get started and then just upgrade as you go along. Now making short and long form content with this camera is really easy, as you have different picture profiles and you can even shoot in S-Log2 and S-Log3, which just gives you more dynamic range in your video. And then you can shoot in 120 frames per second for great slow motion shots and B-roll. And with the ability to shoot in 4K as well, you really do future-proof yourself with this camera. And then lastly, it has to be the size. And these cameras are pretty tiny, which is really good. Now the size makes it really easy to travel with, as this can fit in almost any sort of bag in sort of any space. It also makes it really easy to create daily content with. Since this camera doesn't take up that much space, it is really easy to just sort of take along with you wherever you go. And since you can't actually change out the lenses with these, you don't need a lot of things to actually make this camera work. And at the end of the day, it almost feels like just using a smartphone, but with better quality. And that for me almost beats out all of the other features. Now after making content for a few years now and having had the opportunity to switch from a webcam to a small camera to DSLR and now mirrorless, I can definitely say that this is more than enough for most people, and the convenience that it offers with all of the specs, it really is a really good option for creators. And honestly, it might even be the best option for some of you. Now, if you wanted to improve your skills and knowledge around photography and video, then the Sony Alpha Universe is definitely the platform for you. The Alpha Universe is 100% free to join, and Sony partners with a bunch of different creators to bring you content that is fresh and new every few weeks, meaning that you won't ever get content that is old, and you will most likely always learn something new. So if this sounds like something that you want or need, then head over to the link down in the description below.